Hello and how are you? Hey friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shadow Briscoe, coming to you from right here in St. Charles, Missouri, home of the first state capital, that is, back in 1821 to 1826. That's right, sure is. Anyway, hey, this here Sunday, May the 3rd, 2020. Means I've been doing this thing for what, about 5 years now? 5 years of a program. Got me 100 Facebook friends that are that like the Shen Show. So hey, that's a good thing. Used to be called Hello and How Are Ya? That's why it starts out Hello and How Are Ya? But hey, it is the Shen Show and always has really been the Shen Show. But that's all right. Got a happy birthday shout out going out to Dale Lynch, and so also one for Jennifer Irelan and Drew Messichin. There you go. We'll go with that. Messichin. Drew Messichin. There we go. I don't want to destroy it any worse than I already have. So that's what we're going with. So, without further ado, here is a birthday song for the three of you. It goes, hey, I heard it's your birthday today, so happy birthday, I must say. Dale and Jennifer and Drew, you're 1 more year older today, so happy birthday to you, I say. I said, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday, I must say. You're 1 year older today. So happy birthday to you, I say. All right then. No Facebook posts today. I checked it out. I went over on Facebook. I was seeing if Karen and Tracy and oh shoot, oh Melissa and all of y'all was poking today, but nobody poked me, so there we go. That's just the way it goes. No pokey nose. No pokey nose. Isn't that a mountain? Isn't it? Yeah, it's a mountain range. I'm pretty sure the pokey nose is a mountain range. Hey, you know what? Wallace Resale is about to deliver us something. You know what Wallace Resale is about to deliver us? The weather forecast for the St. Charles Union area. You know what it is cool about Wallace Resale? They've got all kinds of items, and they're on a Facebook page. So all you've got to do is be a member of Facebook, go onto their page, and go to Wallace Resale. That's the big yellow patch of a big yellow rectangle with a big black W right in the middle of it. And then there's a hash line right across the middle of it saying on resale. The big W, Wallace Resale. That's right. You go on there and you find out the items that you'd like to purchase, and why you just put down the item number over in the messenger, and either Dawn or Rick will get back to you as soon as they can. All right, well, alrighty then. Hey, you know what? Tonight's weather forecast, oh, well, there are some clouds out there. And they're going to give way to mainly clear skies overnight. Lows near 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds are going to be north to northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Because, well, let's see, 10 to 20 miles per hour, and becoming southeast and decreasing to less than 5 miles per hour. Okay, we're going to have a switch up in the wind direction. Well, hey, that's the first time they've ever told me anything like that. Well, now that we know that we can have wind swaps, then we're going to have wind swaps. That's right. Okay, alrighty then. How about Monday, May, sorry about that, May the 4th. Jumped a few months, didn't we? Or lost a few. January, February, March, April, May. Lost a couple months there for a second. Anyway, May 4th. Partly cloudy skies in the morning, increasing cloudiness with periods of showers later in the day. Thunderstorms are quite possible. Highs around 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain are going to be around 60%. Then rain early and then remaining cloudy with showers later in the evening towards the nighttime throughout the night. Lows around 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be east to northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain at that particular time is going to be 80%. Rainfall near a quarter of an inch is quite possible. Then Tuesday, May the 5th, cloudy early with periods of partial sunshine expected late in the day. Highs around 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds are going to be northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Few clouds overnight, lows around 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Then for your Wednesday, May the 6th forecast, sunshine and clouds mixed together with highs around 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Some clouds early will give way to generally clear conditions overnight. Lows around 45 degrees Fahrenheit and winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Hey, don't you know? Don't you know you are a shooting star? Don't you know? Thursday, that's right, Thursday, May the 7th. Partly cloudy skies in the morning will give way to cloudy skies during the afternoon. A stray shower or thunderstorm is quite possible. Highs running around 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds are going to be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's right, cloudy with showers overnight, lows around 47 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chances of rain, 50%. And then Friday's final 5-day forecast date, Friday, May the 8th. Showers in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. Highs around 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds north to northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain 40%, and then some clouds early will give way to generally clear conditions overnight. Lows around 37 degrees Fahrenheit, and winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And that will cover your 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area. Hey, if there are any of you, I mean anyone at all, that would like for me to do the weather forecast for their area, hey, let me know. You just punch it in right below, down below, and I'll start doing it. You know. Now I don't know if Wallace Resale will be sponsoring your weather forecast. But that's quite all right because we'll find a sponsor. We can always find a sponsor for something. Right? Right. There's got to be a sponsor somewhere, somehow. Oh, by the way, if you do decide to use Wallace Resale, mention the Shen Show. Tell them that Shenandoah sent you over there, and they'll be more than happy to oblige you with a word of thanks towards me. But I'd like for them to let them know that their advertising is working. All right? All righty then. We'll check you later. Okie dokie. Now let's see what else we got going on. I've been singing or whistling. I've been whistling this song all day. And I was going to whistle it again for you. But I got to get a drink of water. W-A-T-T-E-R. Is that water? Or is it one T? How many T's are in the word water? W-A-T-E-R, water. Well, H2O to you and me. In my particular case, there's H2O, and there's fluoride, and there's probably chlorine, and all kinds of other gunk in there to make it purified enough for me to drink, because it's city water, so therefore it's got all the stuff that they put in there. Poison, fluoride is an it's a chemical that comes up. Okay, here, we'll just Google it. That's what we'll do. Where does fluoride come from? Is water fluoride safe? Well, Harriet Held, the MD medical dentist, explains. And where does fluoride come from? Aha. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Posted on November 8th, 2013, and filed under the facts about fluoride. Fluoride as an American as pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. We know that adjusting the fluoride in our water systems to the ideal level reduces cavities. No, it does not, and it does not strengthen teeth. As a matter of fact, it does the opposite of that, right? And it is important to part of a healthy life. But where does the fluoride that fortifies our water supply come from? See, this is a bogus page. This is dental health, campaign for dental health. Life is better with teeth. That is bogus. Bogus information. Facts about fluoride and water fluoride. Life science. What is fluoride or what is water fluoride safe? Over 100 studies in various counties have shown consistent results. It's safe. Harriet Hall, medical examiner, examines the evidence and arguments for the agents water and fluoride. Because I tell you what, my dentist a long time ago, when they said they were going to put the fluoride in the water, he done told me, he said, well, it'll make a lot of money for me. He said, it's a good thing for me, but it's bad for your teeth. He said, that'll just set people with cavities, it'll sock them to cavities and all kinds of dental problems, because fluoride is supposed to be used on the outside of your teeth to brush your teeth with. It is not to be consumed and drawn out through your system on through the inside so that it helps you grow teeth. It does not work that way. It deteriorates the inside of your teeth, which leaves you with shells of teeth. So you can brush your teeth all you want, but here, look at me at 50 and brushing my teeth all I wanted to. I have no teeth. And at this point in time, a lot of the 50-year-olds don't have their own teeth anymore. They've got very pretty teeth, and they are their teeth, but that's just because they paid for them. No, I wish. And no, I did not do drugs to lose my teeth. Okay, where does the fluoride added to water come from? There we go. That's the question. Okay, where does fluoride added to water come from? The main chemical used to fluoride drinking water are known as silicylfluorides, i.e. hydrofluorosilicas, acid and sodium phosphorate. Silicylfluoride are not pharmaceutical grade fluoride products. See? They are unprocessed industrial byproducts of the phosphate fertilizer industry. Science, and since these silicylfluorides undergo no purification procedures, they can contain elevated levels of arsenic. More so, they are than any other water treatment chemical. In addition, recent research suggests that the addition of silicylfluorides to the water is a risk factor for elevated lead exposure, particularly among residents who lived in homes with old pipes, because it has a tendency to loosen the lead off the pipes, off the old metal pipes, and so therefore you get lead poisoning also. So there you go. It is a chemical byproduct, and it's not even a pharmaceutical grade fluoride product. So there you go. That is what I was trying to get at. That comes from the fluoride.org. Fluoride alert. Fluoridealert.org is where that came from. Because I'm telling you, that there is exactly what I was talking about. And my dentist told me about it years and years ago. And, what am I? A little kid. I don't know anything from anything. Toxic treatment fluorides transformation from industrial, and there's another one right there. Toxic treatment fluorides transformed from industrial waste to public health miracle. Oh, yes, public health miracle for sure. Early in the 20th century, dentists discovered that fluoride reduces the number of cavities in their patients' teeth. Soon admits uh, much debate and rancor. Fluoride was regularly added to the American public drinking water supplies. Fluoride has been hailed by some as a triumph of public health, but it was also, as historian Frank Zelko points out this month, a profitable way to put to use a waste product from the production of fertilizer. While fluoride it calls itself the Sunshine State, while Florida calls itself the Sunshine State, from a geological and economical perspective, it could just as accurately be known as the Phosphate State. The so-called Bond Valley of Central Florida contains some of the largest phosphate deposits in the world, which supply global agriculture with one of its most important commodities, synthetic fertilizer. In the process, the mining industries levels behind a secured landscape than you did of vegetation and pocketed with vividly colored waste disposal ponds that one writer described as beautiful pools of pollution. Wonderfully colored, waste toxic ponds. Beautiful colors of ugliness. Beautiful ponds of toxins. Okay, highly toxic oxygen, fluoride, and silicon transfluorides gases are byproducts of fertilizer production. Prior to the 1970s, these pollutants were vented into the atmosphere and gave Central Florida some of the most noxious air pollution in the country. Well, during the 1960s, however, complaints by farmers and ranchers eventually forced reluctant manufacturers to invest in pollution abatement scrubbers that converted toxic vapors into a fluorosilicide acid, FSA, a dangerous but more containable liquid waste. There you go. Now, so it's containable and it's liquid. The U.S. National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, OSHA, cautioned the FSA and that FSA and inorganic fluoride compound has dire health consequences for any worker that comes into contact with it. Has dire, not desired, dire health consequences for any worker that comes into contact with it. Breathing its fumes causes severe lung damage or death, and an accidental splash on bare skin will lead to burning and excruciating pain. Fortunately, it can be contained in high density cross-linked polyurethane storage tanks, plastic. It is in such tanks that fluorosilicide acid has, for the past half century, been transported from Florida's fertilizer factories to water reservoirs throughout the United States. Now, once there, it is drip-fed into drinking water. That is a a practice that the American Dental Association and numerous scientists and public health officials describe as the precise adjustment of the existing naturally occurring fluoride levels in drinking water to an optimal fluoride level for the prevention of dental decay. Right? Right. So you're taking toxins from one country, or I mean from one state, and you're dumping them in the water all over the United States so that everybody can be poisoned. Not only poisoned, but their teeth can fall out of their head due to the fact that you guys decided that it was the proper thing to do. Remind you of something that's going on pretty close to right now? Let's all stay at home. Let's all do nothing. And how many things has this country been through? I mean, how about smallpox? How about chickenpox? How about all the poxes? We'll just call it all the poxes. How about consumption, which is what was that one called? Not rheumatism. Oh man. Anyway, the one that made all the kids have bad bones. That's another one. One of our presidents suffered from it. Oh, great. Polio. All these epidemics that we have went through, how many times have we shut down the country for these epidemics? All the poxes, all the things like that? None. Zero. Zilch. Zip. And it's not that it was done on purpose. I mean, what he did do is lock down the borders. That was done on purpose. That was a good thing to be done. But somebody said, hey, we need to have somebody, his little ear, a little gray-haired man standing there next to him who is supposed to be know-it-all on this virus and everything like that. Well, of course he's supposed to be the know-it-all. He's the one that introduced it into our country. He's the one that talked President Obama into sponsoring it over in China in the first place, funding it. And if you watch the news these days, you're finding out about those so-called funds that are going, that were going over to China to fund their research on this product some, 8 to 12 years ago? Oh, well, let's see, that wasn't a problem back then until somebody over there who was working on this COVID virus decided that they could be accidentally injected or catch it, and then once they left the laboratory or whatever they work in, it was spread like an epidemic everywhere. Although that being said, it's still an epidemic. So how much help can we get from the government? I mean, let's see. We'll shut down the whole country. That way we'll go broke. But then we can ask the government to just keep printing up money. It doesn't work that way, folks. To just keep printing it up and shipping it out to us and saying, please give us money so that we can just afford to live for another month or two on lockdown. But no. Get out and enjoy it. It's about time, don't you think? I think so. If I've lost half my participants and my followers because of that statement, I'm sorry. But the other half will be happier. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. It is and it ain't. I'll get back on it again some other time. You know I will. I can't stay off of it. Anyway, the fluoride thing, like I said, was big mistake, big trouble, and that's why my teeth are falling out of my head and I can't get to a dentist because of the COVID virus. Okay, dentists and numerous others in the medical and scientific community. 1950s. In the in drinking water, community water fluoridation, and it has been a mainstay of American public health policies since the 1950s, and continues to enjoy the support of government health agencies, dentists, and numerous others in the medical and scientific community. So they say. As with many chemical additives, though, in the modern world, however, a few people knew about. Uh, few people knew much about it. Not a few people. Hardly anybody knew about it. More are surprised to learn that unlike the pharmaceutical grade fluoride in their toothpaste, the fluoride which is supposed to be put on the outside of your teeth, like I was talking about earlier, the fluoride in their water is an untreated industrial waste byproduct. On that one that contains traces elements of arsenic and lead. Without the phosphate industry's influent water fluoridation would be prohibited profitability expenses. There you go. See, we can sell this waste to the United States for water. Duh. And now they're going to use it in the United States. They'll use it in Alaska. They used it in Hawaii. They used it in Australia. They used it in Europe or somewhere over there. And they used it in some of the islands that we own. Well, not own, but that are under U.S. protection. And anyway, many are surprised to learn that unlike the pharmaceutical fluoridation, and without fluoridation, the phosphate industry would be stuck with an expensive waste disposal problem. So there you go. Only a handful of countries fluoridate their water, such as Australia, Ireland, Singapore, and Brazil, and in addition to the United States, Western European nations have largely rejected the practice. Nevertheless, dental decay in Western Europe has declined since at the same rate as the United States over the past half century. In fact, the more one looks at the history of fluoridation, the more it appears to be a relic of the sort of the mid-20th century. Scientific concoctions that give us DDT, which is another massive DDT is another massive fertilizer byproduct that is killing people right now in the groundwater. So there you have it. Sorry, had to get on my soapbox for the day for that stupid stuff. All right, it looks like I just blew my song time. I have no song time. So it looks like it's time to tell stories for the kids. Hey, Willow, Oliver and Willow, come on over. You guys ready? I'm going to tell you a bedtime story. Yep, that's right, Grandpappy Briscoe. Grandpappy from the TV, that's right. I'd really like it to be a radio, but it's not a radio, so you guys have to look at my ugly mug. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I have to look at my ugly mug. I'm trying to find one that I haven't read. I want to know. I want to know. Unthingables. Unthingables, which would be unthinkable, but unthingables. Here we go. Unthingables. We're going to start to read this one. No, we're not going to start to read this one because it's not going to let us read this one. This one's going to be read to us. And, well, when it's read to us, I have to read it too. A three-legged pirate with one made of wood. By Daniel Eric. Bedtime is known for the stories it brings, when you can imagine unthinkable things. A three-legged pirate with one wooden leg. An alien astronaut up to no good. An elephant shower that washes off dirt. And a clown that can fly with a flower that squirts. Yes, a tiny ant mansion that all of them share, or a green ghostly teacher with ghastly green hair. A jaguar with bagpipes, she just learned how to play. A face-shaving whale who's starting his day. A monster mailman who won't get very far. And a marshmallow driving a fancy new car. A fish who goes shopping while out at the mall. And a child who is sleeping, the rarest of all. Okay, that was a little bedtime story it was a short bedtime story, but hey, it was a bedtime story. It was one of those ones that I had to find. And then there's another one, but it's one of those other ones. It's a long one, and it will get me in trouble with the way it won't be readable. It'll be one that they would read. If I could not cry. If I could not cry. We'll try this one. It's by Daniel Errico. If I could not cry, I would be a snowy tree, in the middle of the winter. If I could not cry, I would be a river needing to flow. If I could not cry, I would be the moon, smiling so big that the world cannot see me. If I could not cry, I would be a bird in a cage, wanting to fly. If I could not cry, I would be a garden, waiting for water. If I could not cry, I would be a volcano, angry and ready to explode. If I could not cry, I would be the wind against a barn, not able to push past. And if I could not cry, I would be an underground crystal, secret and hidden. But I am not a tree, or a river, or the moon, or a bird, or a garden, or a volcano, or the wind, or a crystal. I am me, and I can cry. The end. And that brings us to the end of If I Could Not Cry. That's the end of story time for the kids. And, well, it's time for me to do the Bible with Briscoe. So if we could all go to odb.org and give them a little change so that they can spread the gospel all around the world. We can read the devotion, daily devotion, which would be the one who sees. This is our daily bread portion of the program, the one who sees. If you're keeping up with the Bible with Briscoe for the day, that'll be the Bible with Briscoe 2020. We will be covering 1 Kings 14 through 15 and Luke 22, 21 through 46. The one who sees. Got a picture of a dog with his head in a bag. Numbers 32, 16 through 24. Okay, here we go. We got Numbers 32, 16 through 24, sorry. Hey, y'all ought to really do this. Read to odb.org so that you can get an idea of what this here a section of the Bible is all about, because they always tell a nice little story that I could paraphrase, but even paraphrasing might get me in trouble, because at one point in time I did ask Our Daily Bread if I could have permission to read that on my daily blog, and they said no. And so therefore you'll have to go on there and let their narrator read it to you, because, well, they've got a reader for you to be read to. So there you go. Anyway, here we go. Numbers 32, 16 through 24. Then they came up to him and said, "We would like to build pens here for our livestock and cities for our women and children. But we will arm ourselves for battle and go ahead of the Israelites until we have brought them to their place. Meanwhile, our women and our children will live in fortified cities for protection from the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until each of the Israelites has received their inheritance, and we will not receive any inheritance with them on the other side of the Jordan River, because our inheritance has come to us on the east side of the Jordan." Then Moses said to them, "If you will do this, if you will arm yourselves before the Lord for battle, and if all of you who are armed cross over the Jordan before the Lord until he has driven out his enemies out before him, then when the land is subdued before the Lord, you may return and be free from your obligation to the Lord and to Israel. And this land will be your possession before the Lord. But if you fail to do this, you will be sinning against the Lord, and you may be sure that your sin will find you out. Build cities for your women and children, and pens for your livestock and flocks, but do what you have promised." And so there you do have Numbers. That was the 3 tribes that stayed on the east side of the Nile, so that they, because, was that the east side? Yeah, that was the 3 tribes that stayed, so that the rest of Israel could be across the Jordan River. All right then. That looks like the end of the Shen Show for the day. Meaning I've got a song for you. Never did get to that one song because, well, the fluoride thing got in my way. But anyway, the song that I've got for you would be going something like this. Well, goodbye, my friends. It's the time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. Oh, I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This here's been Shenandoah Briscoe saying hello and how are you? Thanks for tuning in to the Shen Show. And as always, you know God loves you and so do I. So be blessed in Jesus' name and come back and see me again because, well, I'll be here and I hope that you are too.